Okay, welcome to Operation Independence. I'm Matt Wolf, and I was playing the KMT USA. Um, the game is over, so the Axis conceded the victory to the Allies, and the Comintern as did as well. So I'm starting something new here. I'm gonna do a little summary of the game. From what I remember, it's been a while since I played this one, but I want to do this for all my games now because I think people that maybe following them are just kind of like, okay, is the game over? Is it still continuing? It's just delayed. Well, this game is over, independent. So you can go back and watch all the videos, and if you want, and see where we're at. And I think the score, even though it's not accurate, maybe let's see. Let's set the nation value. Here we go. There we go. That's better. So you can see a complete win by the Allies, and we're only in turn. Going in turn 16, we just stopped it short of the rolling to the overwhelming victory the Allies had in points. Income disparity was Japan was falling pretty quick. Germany still maintaining their 50s, 50 plus. Britain was 30 plus. Anytime Britain gets north of 30, that's good. Soviets were down minus 10. Anytime they fall below probably 35, they're kind of in trouble. So, but the big one is the KMT's at 20. That's a shocker there, and France is at 13. So, let's just talk about a little bit about where the game is right now and what's going on. You can see the Italian factories out of commission. One of the Germans is too. The other one is damaged. And the big thing is Paris is in the game. When Paris gets back in the game, that's liberation of Paris that's pretty key to the Allied victory, I think. They have a lot of units here. U.S. is pushing heavy strat bombers. That's never a good sign for Germany. We're also on the boot here, so Italian fleet is blockaded in. Italy won't fall anytime soon, but they're definitely all of North Africa except for this little force here is gone. Even though they still have Eritrea. There's always some funny things in the game. Yeah. Germans still have submarines on the board, so that's interesting. Go over here to the Soviets. I didn't follow the Soviets too much, but I know they lost a lot of territory, even though they have a good chunk of their territory still. Helsinki's always a battle if you decide to go early in Helsinki. What else? What else? What else? French are moving up into Turkey here. That's never a good sign. So I think the big one is this army of the Indian Army here out of Far Eastern Command is pretty big. It's hard to take Calcutta with all that there. Japan's still on the Dutch, even though the British were chipping back at it. Anzac was. Got a few territories here. U.S. Pacific Fleet's down here in North Islands. And there's the big Japanese fleet there. Sitting in its usual spot off the coast of Vietnam here. With a lot of force. So they never battled the U.S. fleet, never battled. So U.S. did maintain all its sphere here. To Midway, Wake, and Guam. Got to get the Carolinas, Marshalls. Never got heavy construction though. Large ship construction, I don't think. Nope. This is one of those games that plays a big part in if you get large ship or not for the U.S. I think it changes the dynamics of the game, especially if you get it early. You can definitely dominate with large ships. Yeah. The KMT was all over the place. I think it's pretty big. big deal for Japan to deal with is the KAV and the KMT just all over China and all over their territory here. So that's. But I think Japan held its own. Really, it wasn't really Japan. It was really Germany that had lost Paris. And yeah, when you lose Paris, it's hard to recover from that, especially if the Allies get in there. Some big armies here, I think. That's Air Force there. British have some planes. 32nd. So not a whole lot in Paris, but enough to hold it. I think the victory point swing is the thing, and Axis really couldn't go up any more victory points. They couldn't get Stalingrad. Lieben's realm they wouldn't have. Japan is. How many victory points do they have? They had they only didn't have any of these territory down here, so yeah, just with Tokyo. Lost Burma, so and lost the north here, so those are gone. Yeah, so still making 55 though. You can still lose the game of making 55. That's kind of hard to say, but definitely possible. So anyway, that's where we're at in this game. Complete Allied victory, only really in victory points. I don't think it was a. To me, a complete Allied victory would be Rome falling, for example, the Japanese fleet destroyed. But when you have all this, and Rome is still pretty solid, and the Germans are in, well, they're not really in Soviet Union anymore. There's not much German army left. I don't see anything. Yeah, so maybe the Soviets would have come out of that, but Allies have overwhelming victory with 10. I'm trying to think what we have here that gave us so many points. Capitalism. So 1, 2. It's. I think it's really this. Well, we should have the Chinese Civil War on here. Don't know why we don't have that. I think the Chinese Civil War is if you go major, you get the victory point. Let's see here. Yeah, it just evolved to a major. You get one major factory, which they should have. There it is right there. So, yeah, so they've evolved to the major. They should have that victory point on there. Which would give the Allies 11. So there's the KMT is a big one. So right there, that's 3 extra they usually have. These 2 they can usually get. They don't have Big Blue Fleet or technology. Through influence capitalism. Even though, yeah. But this is the deal. They don't have any of their objectives. So yeah. So if you don't have any objectives, that's pretty much simply only have 3: Berlin, Tokyo, and Rome. And that's it. So trying to remember what else happened in this game that was pretty big. I don't think we used Operation Overlord to take France. We didn't build any factory, I think. Madman Dan was playing the British. Oh, yeah. Bob was playing the Comintern. Madman Dan was the British. I was the US KMT. And I think Vet was playing Germany. The veteran was playing Germany and Japan. So I think his strategy was go into Soviets again. Again, this is a problem for the Soviets if they ever lose 2, 3, 4, 5. Have to find a way not to let this happen if you're a Soviet player. I think this is. And the idea is to stack up. You could try to defend Primorsky Krai. I usually put 5 militia here, maybe 5 infantry. That's 10 units here. Very hard to land there. And if you, sometimes I even put a AAA here as well. If I see Japan preparing to land here, I put a AAA or 2 here, and that usually stops it. And because once they get Primorsky Krai, they just march this way. So it's just that simple. And you can lose a lot of land here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like that. And the Soviets are down 6 IPPs. And they're down 6, and Germany's pressing over here. It's a long game for the. So this is a. For Soviet players, this is a critical area not to lose this territory here. Find a way to put troops over here. And I think in 4.3 there may be some things you can shift units around, have more units over here. You don't need so many maybe over here. So I don't know. But that's one thing you should be aware of. Could even move the factory over to here, out of range. Well, bombing range, I guess. But anyway, I would protect this if I'm the Soviet player. Always, that's number one priority early game. So just yeah. And then I'm not sure how it all happened in here. I didn't follow the Soviet land war with the Germans too much, but still had a big fleet too with 3 battleships. Jeez. So Germany was not dead by any means. They just yeah, they got a lot of planes. They just have a lot of ground units anymore. When you start losing your factories, you can't build ground units, and you revert back to building planes now because that's the only offense you really have. But yeah, Italy's fleet was still intact, so just blockaded by the Americans and British. If I'm the British player, I probably would have brought more ships up here to protect from this fleet right there. I think there's way too much fleet down here, in my opinion, as a British player. And I'm being objective here as if I would play them. I'm not questioning other players, how they play them, but how I would play the British at this point, or mid-game, is to have not so much fleet, but have some of this fleet up here. Because once you have the Italians pinned down, or their fleets destroyed, you don't need all these ships. You don't need both these fleets here, and they also have this fleet, the 4th fleet, which is sitting over here. So once the Italians are pinned, a good strategy is to either, which pins mean their fleet is in port and can't get out, either blockaded or bombed or destroyed. Once that happens, you have control of the Med. As the British player, I would typically move the fleet this way, part of it, or I would move it depending on where the German. If the German fleet is also wiped out, you still always need ships up here. And the reason you need ships up here, or at least a battleship, heavy cruiser, maybe a destroyer or two, is because you got to protect your transports. And when you start landing on French territory, you can't lose your transports. And I've lost mine before, but late game. If you can lose them late game, but if you already have Paris at this point, you may not even need transport. So, but still, you want to keep shoving troops into France and keep going this way, just to put pressure on Germany. As you can see, we don't even have Switzerland. We don't have Alsace-Lorraine. We haven't got into Bavaria yet, so it's just takes time and more pressure. But definitely, you don't want to have all these ships. I wouldn't have all these ships down here late game. 3 full fleets. I mean, there's 1, 2, 4 battleships. There's just too much down here. But yeah, other places you can go is Yugoslavia. At some point, if the game turns toward the Allies' favor, you can definitely go into Yugoslavia, even though they can always tack it this way. I kind of wish there was a safe landing spot that wasn't next to northern Italy, like this was divided into another province there. Because as soon as you land here, you usually get knocked off by the Italians. But I've thought about landing in Albania sometimes. Which is a nice safe spot to land troops. You could go off and go that way, but it's a neutral country, and Italy never takes it anymore. So, even though they can annex it for free, but that's the reason why they never take it, because British can land there and just good night. So, yeah, Turkey is always a pain if it flips. That's not a good thing. Possibly changing in 4.3. I don't know. Let's hope Turkey just stays like it is, neutral. So we'll see. Other than that, though, guys, I think that's it. Australians, once they can start going, they can start pushing fighters out and transports and start doing some damage. But they have to be secured first, which means Japan's no threat to them anymore. Then they can start pushing things out. But 41st Army was pretty big here. 97th was somewhere else. Yeah. So Japan always likes to roam in this area. This is like their base of operations. Can go a lot of different directions in these territories. So if you can get into these territories, that's always a good thing with the Allies. So KMT was pushing south. British are pushing from this direction, and that's hard to overcome. So anyway, that's where we are. So thanks for watching Operation Independence. Again, let's go back to the score over here. One last time, you can see it's 11-3-2. Axis have no victory points outside their home cities, and pick up France worth 2. That's a big one. Tech this game was wasn't really that good. America only had 4 techs, so that's not good for the U.S. And long LRA, improved construction, radar, and heavy strat bombers. So the tech's radar with LRA with HSB is really powerful. It's going to even get better maybe in the future, but radar gives your fighters +1 intercept, escorting, intercept abilities, so that's nice. Unlimited scramble, but British got their ASW. They've got FEMU stock in this game, which is really big for the British if they can get that. Germany going for advanced subs, long range aircraft, improved factories, and advanced mechs. They did not get heavy strat bombers or amphibious airborne doctrine. They're working on that though. So, all right, guys, I'll let Independence go here. I just want to wrap it up one last time. Thanks for watching, and see you all in the next one. Bye.